But when we had a lot of allegations here and there, it almost brought me to a place where I almost started believing that, oh, okay, are you sure she's not like this? Because there's just this part of man that wants to say, okay, should I look into this person's personality the more? And then something in me said, I mean, every story has double angle, and if I don't know the second angle, especially from her producer, then what am I saying? It would really not be matured enough for me to just
build your tent on one,
on
one story,
or draw my conclusion from just one part of the whole thing. And this is how I was able to just, push aside some of these allegations, and the emotions it was tearing from inside of me. The question is, how many people are able to do that? How many people are mature to do that?
Hello and welcome. This is Let It Be Podcast. I am Lysias and Susan.
And I'm Susan. Welcome.
Yes, welcome indeed. Let It Be Podcast seeks to explore life's challenges, how we have been living our day to day, and also what we have encountered in life, and also other people's experiences that have shaped their world, which we believe can also help you in navigating the terrain called Earth. So we invite you as we take this journey of exploring and growth.
Yeah, and if this is your first time on Expand with Lysias and Susan, we want to welcome you specially on this channel. Just as Lysias rightly pointed out, we talk about things that would help your personal growth, help you develop better, also help you make the right choices. And our goal, however, is to ensure that together we make the world a better place in our own unique way.
Yes, so if you haven't subscribed, please consider this a very good time to do so. Also gives us a thumbs up so that it will help the YouTube algorithm suggest our videos to other subscribers out there.
Yeah, and to our subscribers, want to thank you especially for being there. Thank you for watching our videos, for dropping your comments. We really appreciate your kind gesture. It goes a long way to encourage us to continue to come on board and to talk about things that just drive out positivity. We like to call our platform number one peaceful platform, where you just learn things in a very peaceful way, and it just stirs you up to become a better version of yourself, just to expand and keep getting better and better.
Yes, so we are on YouTube at Expand with Lysias and Susan. Please do us well to check us out.
Quick reminder. All right. So, Lysias, we will be talking about, lessons learned, because one thing our podcast stands for is also to pick those things that it's easy to ignore, but if not nipped in the bud, can escalate into something explosive, something toxic, something disastrous. So for you watching, just take it that this particular episode is targeted at mentioning things that everyone should care to look into, as it were, and it's not far from the issue of the rise of hatred. So a lot of people have called it a generation, a toxic, call our generation a toxic generation. It's just like there's no limit to it anymore. It has just been escalating, as seen from the story of I think it's VDM and Mercy Chinwe. Okay, so we're drawing from that as something that's happened presently, okay, and the lessons we must learn as it has to do with hate. Okay, so Lysias, someone would wonder and say, well, hate is something that is just part of our nature. It's something that as man would love, man would hate. So you see, it's not something that is alien, but if we're picking it up, it's because we're looking at it in another dimension. One would wonder that hate is a normal thing. I mean, why talk about it in the first place? But just as we said, if it is something that is spiraling, out of control, then we must mention it. And one thing that bothers me is the fact that the inventor of AK-47, it was said that he wrote a letter, where he mentioned that he is suffering from spiritual pain. Okay, and what is that? he feels that he is guilty for the amount of lives that has been lost, in the process of using the AK-47. Now, my concern is the fact that just like the social media, which is a space where we operate in and a space where, a lot of things is happening that is affecting people's life, and that's why we must talk about it. My concern, however, is that I believe strongly, just like the inventor of AK-47, that the original concept of social media, ranging from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and the rest, I think that they must have had a good intention. But over the years, we're seeing that a lot is happening that is going unchecked. Talking about your original intention and then how it turns out. Do you think that it's because they are benefiting from this whole thing and it has come to a point where as long as people are interested, people are engaged, we should just leave this thing like this? Where do you think this problem of hate, is coming from?
I think number one is lack of regulation on the part of the owners of the platform. A lot of them find it difficult to be able to regulate and clamp down on excessive use of abusive words, excessive use of aggression, and all of those things. And like you pointed out, I feel that it is because they are profiting from it. Because the more time you spend on their platforms is the more time you lose money in terms of data, which they profit from. So I feel that one, they are profiting from it, and then secondly, it looks like they are handicapped checkmating this excessiveness, as it were. And you see, our society has evolved to one that people celebrate when they see someone that is aggressive, somebody is abusive, somebody always passing the wrong information across. People celebrate those kind of people. But when you go on platforms where the people are talking about morality, the right things to do, people usually don't follow such pages because it sounds dull to them and boring. You understand? So I feel that the society has a lot to play.
I feel that strongly because I believe that they are also having their own portion or share of what's going on, because I watched an interview, with the founder of Facebook, where he was talking about the increase in the abuse of the media. He didn't mention social media, so he was complaining about the mainstream media and their ways, and so I just feel that everybody at their particular level is feeling the bite of this abuse, and just as you said, I believe that there is room for more of these regulations, because it's really, really spiraling out of control, and something must be done. The earlier, the better.
You see the difference between social media and, let's say, television media now is that television media, what you say on the television screen are censored. There are certain languages you are not allowed to use. There are certain aggression you are not allowed to bring to the fore. You're not allowed to make unsubstantiated statements. Yes, thank you. Statements like that. But you see, on the social media, such regulations are not there. So oftentimes they find they are having challenge with dealing with people that have been sending out wrong information. Now, what can they do beyond closing down, shutting down your page? But this individual can decide to go and open another page with other pictures and other things and still continue. But the television media is not like that. And somehow, if you ask me, they are thriving.
Yeah, they're thriving, and it's because of some of his excesses.
Yes.
Some of his excesses. And the thing is, we cannot hide the fact that social media have done a very good job in making some people celebrities. Okay, and we cannot run away from the fact that there is so much gain in that particular business. We've seen, like last year, we had of the amount of billions that only social media platforms paid to their content creators. Yes, to be specific. So just as you said, for now, it looks like some things are allowed to go because there's little or nothing they can do about it for now. I believe that over time there are things that will be done. That said, so now we have people that have entered the shoes of celebrity. They have entered the shoes of leading people knowingly or unknowingly, because when you have fans, when you have followers, somehow it means that you are taking them somewhere, as the name implies. You have people that are cheering you up, as the name implies. Okay, so one thing we must know is that what goes around comes around. I think we're very quick to forget that there's this principle of what you give, is what you receive. So some of these people have justified their hatred on the grounds that, okay, just as you said, negative publicity, makes news, as it were. So you build a lot, even when you now have followers, you build, your negativity, especially because you cannot handle the hatred you have. Because I know that for every hatred that is expressed, there's something that has started from within. As Christians, we believe that out of the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks. So, but our gentle reminder here is that whatever you sow, you reap. So don't be too concerned when you realize that there's drama all around you, especially when you are making a living from giving out drama.
Yes, you see, hatred in itself is negative emotion that you give out. And I remember a wise man said hatred is like standing in front of a mirror and stabbing yourself with needles and expecting someone else to feel the pain. You are hurting yourself by hating other people. Even if those people even if you had justification for hating them, but do they know that you hate them? Do they even know that you have any grudge against them? They are living their lives with, carefreeness. They are happy about their life, but at every point in time you run into them, there's this bad feeling, that comes out of you. From law of attraction, we're meant to realize that what you give out is what you get. So by the time you are exuding negative vibes, negative feelings of hatred, you push people away from you without actually knowing that is what you are doing. People enter your space and they feel is toxic and they don't want to be around you. And the challenge here is that a lot of people who live in hatred always blame other people for how they are feeling. And I feel that is the reason for depression. Refusing to accept responsibility. Refusing to accept that, yes, I could be wrong and the other person could be right. And I would rather take a position of being right and all the time and then pitting myself against other people and then living in hate. It's not a good feeling. And we are saying it because we want people to realize that either way, it doesn't help you.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's one thing to know that as humans we are prone to hate, but for you to know that for every statement that comes out of your mouth, and as a result of the social media setup, somebody somewhere is going to believe everything you say, okay? And the person is going to take it hook, line and sinker and act upon it.
Yes.
Then you still go ahead throwing every caution into the air and you sell this your own idea or your own opinion out there, and then the gullible ones, because not all fans are gullible, but there are still some that are very gullible, we just pick it up and run with it. I'm very, very, very bitter about this, especially when I see people say on behalf of this particular person who is our role model, on behalf of these we have formed a coalition, and so we'll go out whether that other person, whatever the person has said is true or not, they feel obligated,
yes, and justified
to fight, to fight for that person, and the feel is just the right thing to do. I don't know the difference between that and kidnappers and ritual killers that feel obligated because someone has done something wrong either to them or to other people. Is the intention not the same?
It's the same because there is a justification claim attached to it. What is this? What do I mean by justification claim? When you justify your actions based on another person's action. That okay, because people are doing it, you feel you should also do it. And I feel it stemmed from this coinage where people will look at some issues and say everybody is doing it. I beg to differ. Not everybody is stealing. Not everybody is in public office because they want to enrich themselves from public funds. Not everybody is doing it. If you want to justify yourself that because you have seen one or two people doing it and you justify yourself that's why you're doing, you are on your own. It is the same thing with peddling wrong informations, hateful thoughts and emotions about other people. It is the same thing because you feel other people are doing it, so you think it is right. It is not right in any way. I feel that we should always find out the source of this information. And honestly, for me, everybody has his own opinion. And there is a reason why sometimes you ask people questions on the streets and they tell you no opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have anything to say, but it is because at that time they may not have the full picture of what is happening. they may not have the real information concerning that, and they choose not to engage.
Yeah. This just reminds me of the need for self-control.
Yes.
Both on the part of leaders, and when we're saying this now, specifically those that are leading in one way or the other, on social media, and then the followers. It's important that you know that there is like a ripple effect on the things that you do. So people have not been able to draw a line between who you are online and who you are outside. So they just, because they like you or because they admire something from you, they just feel that you have the final say. So even if you have that control, you have that power, please be sure to wield it in a particular way where you let us not just be driven by just money.
We shouldn't, because we're trying to build a positive society.
Yeah.
Where our children's children will come and find something remaining.
Yeah.
We shouldn't burn, the band with the hairstyle, as it were.
Yeah.
There should be some certain things we shouldn't do.
Yeah. There should
caution.
be. I think that's a summary of it. Caution, very, very important, because what's the gain for the steering? Have you seen our economy? Have you seen what people are going through? It's bad enough.
It's bad enough
for
that
you
people are going through a lot.
Then
you are inciting them.
Yeah, so you're inciting them is really wrong. And you that accept to be incited, it's another issue for another day. You that accepts to be incited, I believe that we should also just pursue after purpose in such a way that, because time can be abused. If you don't put it into judicious use, it can really be abused. It can become your worst enemy. And
when you have too much of it to laze around.
Yeah, and what social media strive on is time. So we need to be very careful. Okay, so I think also that we should be able to draw a line between constructive criticism and just call out. So I think people are mixing it up. You see, somebody will say, I want to call out, which is like a slang on social media now. But it amazed me when I realized that constructive criticism comes from a place of love and the intention for that person that you are targeting that criticism to or the emotion to be better. So it is said that it has to start from a place of you appreciating what the person is doing, and then pointing out the mistakes, doing right, and then pointing out the mistakes, and then telling the person, how, giving advice or suggestions on how to get better, and really rooting for that person to get better. So you see, this is what we used to know as criticism.
Yeah, but you see, the challenge here is that we have people in leadership position that know the right thing to do, but because they are puppets, let me use that word, they are seeming puppets, they fail to be able to do those things. So you find when criticized, they get angry with it because they cannot openly tell you the reason why they can't do it or why they can't function that way, because it's more like a secret for them. So the idea is, you should know the right thing to do. You should be rooting to do the right thing. You should be selfless enough to want to see the society change for the better. But a lot is happening in our society today where we have come to realize that a lot of our leaders are self-centered. They are about what they can get from the system and not necessarily what they can give to the system. And how do you know this? When you see contract sums being over-bloated, that is these individuals trying to, gain from it. In as much as being paid to do the job, they still want to profit excessively from it. Such people, no matter how much advice, because criticism, positive criticism and all of those are forms of advice, but they come in harshly. You understand? The person is coming onto you real hard. So oftentimes people get into a defensive position when criticized and end up not implementing anything. Usually I tell people that if you're in a position of leadership, always know that the people around you are there to make you look good, because ultimately if you succeed, you have succeeded. If you fail, it is you. No one is going to call out the people under you. They're just going to call you out as a leader as a failure.
What you said is right, but when you look at it, it's more of from the political standpoint. Now we're talking about social media, and we're trying to be real as possible, especially the fact that there are people that call out, and it's hard to tell if they are doing it from a place of the right intention, the right criticism, or they just want to instill that hatred into people. And I want to state that, just as I said, you have been put in a leadership position because you have a lot of followers and you have a lot of people commenting on what you do and seeing what you're doing, to a large extent. Also know that everything you say and do will impact people, and for any reason you take a stand on the thing, please, to a large extent, weigh the facts. Weigh the facts. Another thing I feel there's an issue on social media is that everybody wants to be the one that will do the breaking news. Everybody wants to be part of the breaking news. Oh, I brought it first.
Yes.
So, and we all know that one ethics in journalism, and we'll say this now, is the fact that you must balance your story. Some story take time to, for you to complete.
To get all the angles.
Yes, to get all the angles, but it must be, but it doesn't really speak well when you just go and say a side of a thing, and then later on people realize that there are other sides of it. And you can see now that it is becoming like a battle, a legal battle. People are now resorting to that as the only way to, to clear themselves, to balance the story, which normally should not be so. I just feel that going forward also, the people that have this social media should be able to continue to sensitize people of the need to balance their story, and should put mechanism whereby people can say, no, this story is not balanced, and so it should be taken off until it is finally complete and concluded. Very, very important.
Yeah, I think they should. With time, I feel that those restrictions will come, because a lot of complaints have, people have been sending a lot of complaints of cyberbullying and all of those things. And I believe that operators of these platforms are also looking into it, trying to come up with algorithms and filters that will be able to stem it, as it were. So, going forward, I think we may have a result in that. I
feel the same way too. I just feel that we're heading somewhere, with these, because the words are very powerful. And by the time you're all about, breaking story, let me bring you this, let me bring this angle, especially with the bloggers, especially with what we have been called, bloggers today. It's I must tell you, a shadow of what we used to know as blogging. And do you know how sensitive some of these statements and assertions and do you know how powerful some of these allegations are? It has the power to, from leaders to leaders now on social media, it has the power to bring that person down and bring that person down forever. Because just as, it's a speedy generation we are in, just as our, emotion are easily stirred. So just as it's so easy for us to be convinced about somebody's image and somebody's personality, that is how easy it is also for it to be tarnished. So especially concerning this Mercy Chinwe, can you imagine how much we love her song and we sing her song? But when we had a lot of allegations here and there, it almost brought me to a place where I almost started believing that, okay, are you sure she's not like this? Because there's just this part of man that wants to say, okay, should I look into this person's personality the more? And then something in me said, every story has double angle, and if I don't know the second angle, especially from her producer, then what am I saying? It would really not be matured enough for me to just build
your tent on one story,
or draw my conclusion from just one part of the whole thing. And this is how I was able to just, push aside some of these allegations, and the emotions it was tearing from inside of me. The question is, how many people are able to do that? How many people are mature to do that? How many people would not just think that, I'm actually at a place where a lot is happening, people are disappointing me. Also, this woman has now disappointed, and, go ahead and start,
Well, for me, I feel that a lot of people get disappointed by other people's lives based on one or two reasons. Number one reason is jealousy.
Yeah.
When you feel that, some people can be jealous of you just because you are succeeding. You see, so a lot of people can hate you based on jealousy because you are succeeding in what you are doing. And a lot of people, because of envy, suddenly just feel that you are in their space. Now, except we can divorce ourselves from these emotions, it becomes very difficult, because a lot of the people that have come out to criticize her are people that have forgotten that there was a business transaction, there was an agreement, and whoever among the parties that broke the agreement, I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know, because the truth is yet to be revealed. We are hearing this person saying this, that person saying this. So for me, it's not even, I don't bother myself with that, because as far as I'm concerned, though that is that individual's personal life or business life, and later on these parties are going to agree on something and the matter will move on,
and life
goes on. But then I have started building a form of resentment within me, the same kind of resentment you find people say all politicians are thieves. That's where it starts from,
and that's what we're concerned, that's what we're talking about it, because of that build up. What the impact of these, you're hearing people talk about gospel artists now, it's just skyrocketing. You're hearing people talk about bloggers, freedom fighters and the rest, and you're hearing about people saying, oh, this one is being used as a political stooge, and scriptures flying here and there and all that, amidst everything that we have bothering us in this country. So that's why we're talking about it. We may not be bothered about their personal life, but if it's going to affect the society, then let it be podcast. We'll talk about it. My take on that, however, is also the fact that when it comes to money, people can pitch their tents. Some people are angry because of the money and the equivalence that their mind have calculated. So you see, I believe that if you're in leadership space on social media, be transparent. Because when the chips are down, these followers will throw you under the bus because they don't play with money. People are more aware of money now than before, especially because there's a lot happening in our economy. People have become more much. Social media has brought a lot of enlightenment. Let's try our best to also be transparent, and followers. It's not everything you hear that you go and start thinking. Try and, just as we say, just know the one that you can be part of and the one that you should just wait and move on, or just wait till you hear more. Don't be too quick. Oh, this money, oh, that, because money is the root. The love of money is the root of evil, as well as it answers a lot of things. So people should be able to strike a balance. That's my take. I don't know if you have anything to say about.
The thing is that how much are you being paid for your opinion? How much are you being paid for showing anger and aggression against these people? Zero. So it doesn't profit you anything. Rather, it works against you, the vibes you give and all of that. So for me, I feel it's just a no-no, man.
It's a no-no. And as a leader also, you should be able to be transparent about legal ways that you use to make money. Legal ways. And I'm saying this because there are some things that may look right to you, but when other people look at it, it's wrong. But it's right to you, especially because money, a lot of people throw caution in the air when it comes to money, and it doesn't speak. You can build everything you want to build, but when you are cunning in the way you're surviving, people will just look at you, and in a twinkle of an eye they start second guessing, because very few people can really be accountable when it comes to money and how they make money.
Very few
actually. Very few people, so it's something that I learned from the whole Mercy Chinwe and VDM matter. You try to be transparent. Don't just, that's just the word. I don't think I have much to say about that. Money is powerful. As much as it can build, it can also destroy. But my concern is, what is the future of the truth? Because we can't run away from the fact that lies are being celebrated. Some of these fan base are what they are because people are lying. Bloggers have come out outrightly to just say lies, and they are comfortable. What has brought that nature of just being comfort? Is money this strong?
Partly money, but also, like we said, partly the institutions also, where when there are no consequences for peddling wrong informations, you find wrong information selling, and people. So most of these bloggers on social media, they chase the clouds, they want more likes, they want more views and all of that, just for them to make money, you see. But when wrong is wrong and is being punished as being wrong, other people will take dressing as it were. So for the future of truth, the institutions, the government, every hand must be on deck to ensure that it is what you know as the truth that you are sending out. If you are found, it's just like piracy now. When you go and copy somebody's word and you put it out, they call you out immediately. There are organizations that can come out for you and you'll be dealt with.
There are repercussions.
There are repercussions. But you see, on the social media, it's relaxed for now. But I believe that those things will begin to come in because a lot of complaints have gone out. So those platforms are beginning to look into it with a view to checking it. So you out there that feel that you want to toe that same line of, just saying what you heard someone say without substantiating,
unfounded stories,
without finding whether it is true or not. Don't get caught because you might just be the scapegoat.
You might be the scapegoat. And then again, when you make money out of lies, a day will come where people will make money out of lies that would come from you too. So it's what you give, you receive. We rightly established this from the beginning of this podcast. Let us know your take on that. What's your take on that? The way people have embraced lies so much that those that cannot even manage their hatred have decided to go all out to just, this one is a target today, that one is a target tomorrow, and just keep bringing people down, because the truth is nobody is really perfect. So everybody have we have
our flaws.
There are flaws. So when you just realize a flaw about somebody and you bring it out, what's your intention? Forgetting that everybody's living in a glass house. It's either today or tomorrow yours will come out, especially when you're making a living from bringing people down. You're part of this hate culture that has been accepted. It's just not right at all.
It's not.
No, it's not right at all. If there's something that you watching can do about it, or maybe you have participated in it, was saying there is an increase in a generation of people that are comfortable with lying, comfortable with hatred, and some people, just because they've built their life on these lies, they are getting instigated by other people that don't mean them well to go out and tell these lies, and before hatred comes, and then is bringing anarchy in our society. It's bringing so much discord. So we've had those times where we had dictators as leaders. It was clear that there were political leaders, or maybe the monarchy, or elected, or by coup d'etat, whatever way they came, but they were dictators, and we saw the kind of harm in the form of them being governors or leading. We saw the kind of harm it brought to the land itself. Some of these people died and the land celebrated their demise. So social media is like a world now, and then you're part of these people stirring people up. People are forming groups, forming gangs, forming fans, all to go and terrorize someone. I don't know the difference between you and a thug.
There's no difference.
No.
There's no difference. I think that they are one and the same thing. It's just that one employs more of a physical strength, the other one employs more of the clouds, as it were, as its strength. You see? And it's really wrong. What's your opinion about people that just want to project hatred and make people believe in their lies?
And do you think that the level of embracing, negativity as what is, what is happening right now, do you think it's right? Because once the news is even a gossip, people will still listen to it. Are we now drawn to gossip, or we're drawn to the truth? Because, the ripple effect, however, is that people watch out for negativity more than positivity. So these are some subtle mindset that is being put inside people right now, and we won't just let it be. So we have people celebrating, or rather commenting more when someone dies than when someone is actually celebrating birthdays. I don't know what's going on.
That's the envy and the jealousy we're talking about. People just don't want to be on the right path. I don't know why.
The reason why we're saying this is because there are a lot of ailments out there that we cannot even mention the names. And most of this chronic illness has its roots in negativity and sadness. So it's one thing to be sad. It's another thing to allow it to escalate to a point where you become so extreme that anywhere people are gathering together to fight somebody, you are there. So there are repercussions for some of this attitude, and we've come to say, why not toe the path of joy and merriment? Why not be part of something that builds people up than to be part of something that is tearing you down as you are allowing yourself to be used to tear other people down? That's our concern.
Yes, the more of the negative vibes you're putting out, it affects you more than this person you are trying to project it against.
Beyond your contributions, your comments and all that brings to monetization is the fact that some of these leaders had a gift and a passion that brought them to that place. So as much as you claim that, we are part of the ones that have built this person and that's why you're fighting for the person, please be reminded that you also have a gift that beyond just being a fan, you can stir up, and then tomorrow you would also, have people rooting for you rather than fighting other people for you. I mean, a clear case is, upcoming bloggers being, because they said something. We all know that most of these bloggers make money from, criticizing other people. Some of this criticism are not constructive, I believe that most of them are the ones sharing this hatred. Yes, they have others that bring to you good news. They bring to you, valid informations that are very, very educating. But by and large, the bulk of them are inciting people, one person against another person, and making money out of it. And I believe that as a leader, you should be able to also take a stand and tell people, caution them. I feel that people have a lot of entitlements on social media. They feel that as a fan, these are unwritten rules, just as you said, because they see people doing it, they want to do it.
Right.
They just feel it's right, and they are participating in it.
You've seen
is doing it.
Justify yourself that everybody.
Yeah, you just go to fight somebody because somebody you like, and you just do that. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Try and look within. You carry something also that can impact. We can't continue like this.
No, we can't.
No.
We can't. And
we
all we
can't.
are saying is we need to exude positive vibes. Love one another as much as we can. Be creative in our criticism and also in our arguments, and also in our calling out of people as it were. Don't just be rash. Don't just be very, very hurtful. The truth is, you're hurting yourself much more than you're hurting the other person.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of time for you to start imagining things that are not there. For you to even start saying it and projecting it.
Yeah, and just take a stand. Don't be drawn to. Don't fall for everything. Don't be drawn to everything. Take a stand. Be your own person, which is very, very key. I mean, be your own person. Just as I said, there's something that you can make happen that no other person can make happen. Always remember that. And as a leader, know that a lot of people want to see you fall. So there's this humility in also accepting criticism, even if it's coming from people that don't like you. Open up your heart and adjust to it, because I think we're in a society where every criticism is criticism and it brings you good, especially if you are a good person. So I mean, we've seen criticism come that should have brought some people down, and it was a stepping stone. For them. So we're just hopeful that the whole thing about Mercy Chinwe and VDM will be settled. I don't know if there's a need for settlement, or if it will just is something that will just end, as it were, and so that people can move on. Please. Before the hatred will escalate and become physical, it started from somewhere. Be sure to do all you can to nip it in the bud. If you know that the first thing that comes to your mind when you see people celebrate is hatred, this is the tendency that something somewhere is wrong. It is a trigger. It is a sign that you should watch what is going on around you and watch your reaction. Because the truth is, if we continue like this, in no distant time, people would leave the social media, find themselves outside and start killing themselves. And we don't want that to happen. That is why we're talking about this today. It may be your reaction to a story today. It may be this person tomorrow. There will always be stories because people are making a living from this. But be sure to watch how you react and but be sure not to become extreme with your hatred.
Yes, it shouldn't be extreme with your hatred. It should just be your opinion and you move on.
Yeah.
Please don't take it personal. Please share your comments with us, share your views, your own opinions. Let us know how some of these things have impacted you negatively and what you think can be a solution to this rising trend in our society.
That is the trend of hatred. Well, this is all we have for you today on Let It Be with Lysias and Susan. I just hope that you have learned one or two things. You've taken a stand not to be the one to carry this hatred culture on. We have better culture like love and merriment to carry on.
Yes, so please be good until we see you some other time. Try as much as you possible to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Till I see you some other time, I remain Lysias Susan.
And I'm Susan Uzonga. Bye bye.
Bye for now.